welcome to Everyday Eady, where we talk about anything, everything. This is my husband Rick, and I'm Krista. And today, on our literally we can talk about anything, is going to be what is the easiest way to success?
What, the magic pill?
Like some people think too. It's like, I think a lot of the times when they see somebody that is successful, they're like, whoa. Or like, I don't think they realize there could be a backstory of 15 years of really hustling, doing shit you did not want to do, and you still showed up.
Right. And what is success?
Yes.
That's like, well, like people see successful, but it's like, well, what is successful? Wealth? Well, wealth, if you're a millionaire and your fucking wife hates you and your kids don't talk to you, are you successful? I don't think so. Like it's.
I think everybody's definition of success varies to some degree. Some it is materialistic, some it is time freedom, some it is being able to spend more time with your family. Maybe for me, I'm like, I think success for me is I just want to be able to have enough money to do whatever I want and travel with my fam.
Yeah. And then there's always, and then you start living within that scale, and then there's other things that you want, and then sometimes you have
to for sure.
And there's no such
more
thing
time
as
to
a
go
balance.
for walks.
Right. But that's the thing. That's the one thing that you're not in control of, and it's time. You're fucked. You don't.
That's what That's another thing we were talking about too. Like on your journey to whatever success is or people achieving in life, you do have to be aware of the time that you're spending too, because you don't get that back. So I think a lot of the times, I think where we get the frustration or the hardships when you're doing stuff and you're constantly getting your tires spinning, you're not doing something that fulfills you, it is a little bit of kick to the teeth, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you're not going to get that time back if you're just doing something every day that you hate. So at least if it's something you're putting your time and energy into that you know you're giving back to the world, it's fulfilling to you, it fills up your cup, and you're contributing something good to society, I think.
To do something, you're making sacrifices somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Right? Like if you're going to say business related, if you're going to start a business and work on your own business, you're going to sacrifice time and stuff like that. But then at the same time, there's strategies and like, to start shit off, you have to bust your ass. There's no ways around it until you're getting some income, and then you can start. But then that's when you start building a team. And then when you realize that all I'm doing is working. To get to that level. Right.
You have to, you're not going to keep growing unless you build that team.
And then you have to set your standards, because then your standard is like, okay, yes, I'll bust my ass and I'll do it here, but then your standard is like, okay, well, there's lots of, I grew, like Dad was always working, right? Like,
it's not for the faint of heart, man.
No, and then, which is cool and that's good, and then but then at the same time, when growing up, I wish that he was more present, right? And then, like, if I look back on that now, the way that I structure stuff, it's like, well, I won't do anything that fucking sacrifices time with the kids,
right.
And if I'm going to, it has to be like fulfilling. I have to look at it and be like, okay, that's worth it, right? If it's like, hey, will you come and help me work on this or work on that? I'm like, no.
You're like, hard no.
Hey, you want to come fishing? No, I don't really want to go fishing with you guys. I don't, because I would rather sit on the couch, work on my phone while my kids fart on my leg watching fucking the Minions do something. I would rather sit on the couch getting farted on, right? And then I can work on my phone on the side. Go to do this mindless
fishing that doesn't really do nothing for you.
It doesn't fulfill me at all.
I'd rather get the farts on the legs too. 100%.
But then, like, that ties into, like, we had a guy message or whatever and was asking questions. It's like, hey, you guys got businesses, you're self-employed, like, how do you find that, or, like, how do you find that balance and stuff when it's like, well, no, I have to work, sometimes you have to work 2 weekends to get caught up. And then,
hell yeah, you do.
It's like, well, yeah, you do. And then but your partner, like, I think we're really good at it. Sometimes it goes back and forth, but I think we're really good at balancing that. It's like, hey, I have to get this done.
Yeah, I need to crush, so you're with the family.
Right, and then it's like when I need to too, sometimes you're trying to crush and then the kids get left in the dust sometimes. And I'm like, Krista, like,
you can't both be crushing and keep the kids in the dust.
I need time to go and do that, but I won't, because I just won't fucking do it then. Like I would squash a whole bunch of shit because I just won't do it because I see the kids getting left behind, and that's not fucking fair to me. That's not worth it. So it's like that, finding that balance and communicating as partners back and forth. You have to do this, you have to do this, and if we fall short somewhere, then if you can communicate, then you fill those holes and you fill those voids, whether that's with employees or better time scheduling or whatever you have to do, or taking something off of your plate, not saying yes to doing something necessarily, like even with lots of pop-ups like we're talking.
Yeah,
right?
Is this actually going to benefit us? Or this fulfilling us? Is this good for the business? If it's a hard no, And you're just like, you've just been doing it for so long that you're like, yeah, we do pop-ups. No, like, no, we don't. Like, you know what? Right now, we're going to find a different way to approach this. Or I think another thing too, which is crazy topic in itself about, I think we're a kick-ass team. And I think it's really honorable, you as a man, letting me crush too, because I want to, not that I have to be the provider of the family, but I want to crush too, and I want to chase my dreams. It's not like I'm just going to be the stay-at-home mom and do that sort of thing. No. So I think it's pretty honorable that you're like, yeah, like you want to go crush, go for it. But I think we need to find that, not that, like, hand off the baton.
Right, and we both want to crush, and we both have our strengths, and we both have our weaknesses.
Which is really cool, because we're yin and yang, so we can play off of each other that way. Yeah. But I think when, like this is going to sound cheesy, but when the yin and yang comes together, like, we're freaking powerful. Like, we do a great freaking job together. It's a team, right? It's a team, man. Like, and I think that's why it does work so well for us, because we do see each other as a team. And, like, I see you, like, not that you're ever, like, down and out, but it's like, it's like I said, like, we're in that two-legged race. Our legs are always tied together, and it's like, you fall down, I'm going to pick you up. Yeah. It's going to be really hard because you're a big dude. Right. But and you do the same for me. But
then at the same time, too, there's, like, and in that, as partners in relationships, whether it's business related or not, but just as a relationship, well, you, like, when your partner falls, you want to be there to support them, too. But we're also good, like, it's like, there's that time, it's like, okay, take the time that you need.
Yeah.
Like, if you're having, I'll say, hormones or whatever, postpartum or whatever the fuck, one of the roller coasters we ran through in life, in our relationship. But I'm there. I got your back. I see this. I tell you what I see. You agree. Sometimes you don't until somebody else says it, right? but then it's like, but I also come back and I'm like, all right. Yeah. Get the fuck back up.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Because, like, I
can't sit there for too long.
Right. And, like, and then me, I know whenever I'm having my shit storm or whatever, I'm a day.
Yeah.
Recently there was one that took, like, a little bit more than a day. But usually I'm one day, right? I'm out of it. I'll go out in the garage. I'll rip my Harley apart or something. And then the next day I'm like, whoo. I'll be like, oh, fuck, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Next day, boom, back on it. Because like, I don't need to dwell on shit. You just move forward, control what you can control. But, like, on the business side of that, as a couple, you have to sit down, find out what your goal is as a team. What is your goal? Okay, and then how are you going to achieve that? If that's one person is the money maker and the other person is the person at home, and then they work like that. Well, guess what? The money maker is going to have to go out and work even more because the other person's only at home.
Right.
Now, if the person's at home, but they're trying to build something at the same time, well, it's like there's going to be a period here where we both have to be working, and you have to support each other back and forth in there too. So,
but I think what it stems down to, like I was saying, like what is the easiest way to success? It was going back to, like, just doing what you're good at, just doing what you're good at.
I think the first step.
Yeah.
Of what is the easiest way to success is determining what you think is success.
Yeah.
And then finding out what you want or what you're good at or whatever, finding out what you want, what your passion is, pour your passion into it. You're going to suck at the beginning, then you're going to get good. You're probably not going to be super overly passionate about it at the beginning, but once you start getting good and you're fully involved in it, but you have to make that decision what you want to do and commit to it.
I don't agree.
On which?
On the part where maybe you're not passionate about it at first. I think my whole business started from a passion.
Yeah.
And it just, like, exploded, and then I was like, holy shit, the world loves what I'm doing, and I'm going to do more of it, right? So it's like it took me by storm because they could see this light in me that was like, wow, she really loves what she does, and I truly did, and I just ran with it. But then I think as I'm going to piggyback off what you said, then I think as it grew, there was parts of it that I didn't like. Right? So then you're doing a lot of stuff that you don't want to be doing, and that's where you need a team to delegate so that they can pick up on the things that you're no longer good at, and then they can find strengths. You find strengths in these team members that now you come together, and now you're getting back to what your shining light was again.
You pay more of your attention towards what your strengths are, and then hire people or whatever to build in there that their strengths are filling where you're missing.
Right, but that's a super uncomfortable phase for me anyway. Maybe not for you, but it's an uncomfortable phase to have to get rid of those parts of you that you've been doing for so long. Yeah.
But then at the same time, you hate them.
But you hate them, but then once you get rid of them and you see somebody else thriving in that, you're like, shit, why didn't I do that like years ago? Like, right? But then I think it's cool too to grow a team, and now you're creating jobs out of something that you just like you had a passion for. So I think our main goal and mission is success for us as a business would be growing people within our business and seeing them thrive.
Yeah,
is badass.
And
like that gets me so excited.
That's
like
the one spot that me and you sit down and it both fires both of us. It's like having a team that and you can pour into them and help them grow as individuals and watching them grow.
It excites the shit out of me. I'd love to, like you said, I would love my business to thrive just so I can help other people thrive. Not only within what we do because we're giving back from our business, but within our community of our people that I don't even really call them employees, like our tribe, our crew, like they're part of this, right? We want them to feel like they're invested in our business enough to want to give so much back to it, just like it's almost a part of theirs too, right?
Or feel like you're getting so much out of even just being a part of it that you're getting more than you're even giving.
Right.
And then, but you have to have the right people, because some employees, when you do that too much, then they start taking shit for granted.
Right.
Like, I've seen that at places that I've worked too, right? And I say, well, then you have to have that conversation. But that's part of managing people. Sometimes you have to have those awkward conversations.
Right. And that's why I got you, because I don't like those.
Well, I don't really fucking like them either. But at the same time, when they have to happen, I'll put the
nail in the coffin.
Yeah, or I'll shoot the elephant, or I'll put the problem on the table. Let's talk about it, right?
100%.
They have to be talked about, so let's fucking talk about it.
But I think the cool part too with us, like I think we have like, well, you are a big burly man, and I'm like a nice, soft, like sweet angel, right? Different podcast. But I was just thinking, we have cool strengths. Like, I think what's neat is when we bring on people, or just, not that we have a big friend circle, but I like not pushing people, but helping them achieve better versions of themselves too. Not that where they come that there was anything wrong, but then I think it's just this learning and evolving of what more you're capable of. Like, it's like,
I like being around people that are pushing themselves.
Yes, and I think
better.
just to be a little bit better. But I was like, just getting on that other side of fear of just like sometimes you don't even know what you're fully capable of, and I think it's I like that just gentle push that we can kind of give to be like, I know you have it in you. Stop half-assing it, right? Like, not that I yell at them like that or smack them around or anything, but yeah, just to you. But it's like I think I love that, like seeing somebody light up, and then you're like seeing them on Instagram crushing it, or like just doing their workout at home. You're like, fuck yeah, like look at her go, she's up before me, crush it, or whatever it is. And like it feels good to see people like now just giving it their all and knowing that they are meant for more and they are capable of more.
I got a few mentors in like the self-development world, and lots of them talked about like they used to be gym trainers and they used to do this, they used to do that, right? And then they were really money focused. So I'm like, the money I could really give a shit about. Sure, I like having it, I like shiny shit,
right?
But my fulfillment is actually in people, and
100%.
seeing people take that step, or seeing people's eyes open up to be like, oh, I didn't even know that was a possibility for me, or right? And it's like seeing that, or even just helping people in the gym, just in town here. Sometimes just giving little suggestions. It's like I am not a personal trainer. Like I do know what I know, that I've learned, what's worked for me, what I've seen guys do, and what I've talked to other people about. So I was just making those little suggestions, and then watching people make those little changes, and they're happy.
Badass.
Yeah, it's like cool. Like that is fulfilling. Or in the wellness coaching and helping people and helping them break things down and be like, oh wow, I am in control, and I can design my own life and where I want to go and set my own standards. And then watching them start doing that, and then it grabbing traction is like, oh baby. And then you step back, and then they kind of they figure out their own way. Yeah. And then when they come back and they're like, oh, I'm caught up on this, then you can help them kind of get some traction. And so or you see them and you're like, you're falling off. You call them out. They kind of lie about it, and then it's like, no, you're right, right. And then you're like, all right, man, come on, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay to go backwards, or on your map it's okay to take a wrong turn sometimes, but now come back to your road and let's fucking go.
I get lost all the time.
Let's go, but it's like let's go. Like I like seeing people make progress, and I like pushing them, I guess, or helping them. But at the same time, I'm not an accountability coach. Like I'm not going to call you every day and be like, hey, did you eat your cereal today? Like we don't fucking do that with our 6-year-old. Right? So, you want to wear cowboy boots when it's fucking -10 and we're going side by side today?
You're gonna learn the hard way, buddy.
Your toes are gonna freeze.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be okay. I was like, yeah, you're standing inside in a warm ass house. You're gonna be cold later, right? Okay.
Yep. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
And then what happens? Toes freeze.
But I think it's just life lessons too. And I think it's not the faint of heart to have a business, but if you do, I think you're learning as you go as well, right? Like,
You should always be learning.
You should always be learning, absolutely. And if you're not growing, I feel like you're dying. And I think that's part of just the human experience, like constantly learning more about yourself and anything else around you that in your environment, right? Like even us, we're constantly learning things about each other. In relationships, I think everything should constantly be evolving, or frick, it's boring, it's mundane. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for a normal, boring life. I don't know who said that was okay to just half-ass your life and your relationships and your time here on this rotating earth.
Right. And some people, I guess it is okay for them. Not for me. And it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be for anybody to just settle for shit. But if that's your jam, like you have to want it changed, and you have to see that to want it too. Like people can't just tell you. Like it's a self-development world. Like if you don't want to change, you're not going to. There's no magic pill.
No, there is no magic pill. But I think there's a lot of people that think that wellness coaching or any sort of personal development is ridiculous, and they just don't understand it. But I think for me, I love to evolve and learn and grow and stretch and see what's on the other side of the fear that's holding me back, or the other side of like what I'm truly capable of. And I don't want to be on my rocking chair at 80 being like, oh well, I just played her safe and woulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda. And like I feel like there's a lot of really cool shit going on, and I think it's an exciting time to be alive. Like it's an exciting time to be you.
You're alive.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be you.
You're only here once. It's like people with they'll be in a 20-year shit ass relationship, and then they'll either get divorced at the end of it. So well, why'd you wait 20 years?
Right.
Or there's a stigma towards getting a psychologist or a therapist for a relationship to try and work on their relationship. And there's a stigma. Oh, I don't need that. Oh, I don't need that. Well, your relationship's fucking shit compared to John and Susan's.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to make it
better?
Why
wouldn't you want to work on it, right? Like, I just don't half-ass nothing. And I do. I hold myself to a standard where I want to lead with that sort of excellence. And I think that's a fucking kick-ass way to live your life.
Otherwise, what are you showing your kids?
Right.
Like it's like going to a job that you hate every day from 9 to 5, and it sucks your soul out of you. And then you go to your kids and be like, boys, you can do whatever you want in this world.
Yeah, you can be whatever you want, Johnny.
Yeah.
While you're like over here contemplating driving off the bridge, like
fat as fuck,
right?
Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, I don't know.
And I think too, the cool thing is like your kids are always watching as well. Like RJ the other day kept saying mental health. And I was like, oh geez, we must be dropping a lot of mental health bomb conversations. And I think it's really cool to involve your kids in that stuff too. And him being like, okay, I want abs like you, daddy. And he's down here punching the punching bag, having the smoothies. And we're telling him why you need a protein to like build up your sore muscles after. I think it's so cool to include your kids in that, in a healthy lifestyle, and what a healthy relationship is too. We were like making out and Archie's like staring at us and we're like, what, you don't like that? He's like, that's disgusting. We're like, it's just love.
Yeah, and it's good.
Yeah.
And he should see that and be disgusted by it. He should. Because that
it was so
like,
cute though. He's like, his face was just like puzzled.
But
like,
he's gonna grow up, and what's he gonna know for relationships?
Right, just smooching his girl.
Right. Like we don't want him to be like when he grows up. I don't want him to grow up and be like, oh, I want to be like Tom's dad, because Tom's dad is in shape and rides motorcycles.
Yeah, you're like, I want him to look up to me.
And Tom's mom is good looking, and they get along, and they always have food in the cabinets. No, I'm building a life. We're building a life that we're showing them what we think that what is, I guess, good.
Well, our version, nobody knows if they're doing it right. You just do the best you can.
Right, and that's what I want. You get healthy, get in shape. You want to be a powerhouse in life, and anywhere you walk in, your body is your resume.
100%.
Your body is your resume. If somebody walks into anywhere, I can look at them and be like, that guy is disciplined enough to be in good shape. And I know, I already know something about that guy, right? So if I walk into a car dealership to buy a new truck or buy a Corvette or whatever, right, and you're looking around and there's two salesmen, one guy's got fucking McDonald's on his desk with a big mess, big gut, and his buttons all weird on his shirt, and the other guy is in shape, stands up, comes over, high energy. Who do you want to deal with?
Right?
I want to deal with that guy, because that guy's got his shit going on, right? Like
100%.
Like,
Your body is your resume, and it tells a lot about you. I remember the one seminar we went to too, and he said the same thing. And he was like, I can look in this room and you don't even have to, he told you to stand up if you worked out 5 days a week, but he's like, you don't even have to stand up. I can tell who works out 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Like it's not rocket science.
I can tell if you're actually focused on your fitness and your overall body and your health or not. I can tell. And you can see it in people's eyes too. Like even people that, it's not like, oh, that guy's the epitome of fitness, but you can see it in his eyes. Right?
Yeah.
You can see if he's got that energy or that drive or not. Like it's pretty easy to read those people's energies.
Yeah,
so
100%. Or even just the ones, like I think too, like it doesn't always have to be around the physique and the fitness, but I think there's just people who structure that, like even the ones that are getting up early and crushing things before like most people have even got up. Like I think just people how keep themselves to a higher standard and do what they said they were going to do. Mm-hmm. Those are the people, right? Yep. I think that's who I want to surround myself.
And if you have,
I'm not saying you have to get up early, but keep your commitments that you said you were going to keep.
If you have self-doubt and imposter syndrome and a lack of self-respect and stuff, the only way that you're going to get through that is by slowly doing things that are making you hold yourself accountable, and then you step through it, and then you can pat yourself on the back and be like, maybe Rick 6 months ago didn't do that, but Rick now does.
Yeah, it's
right?
keeping
Or
those promises
guys,
to yourself creates confidence.
Right, guys that I've dealt with, like with core 4 and had them develop their core 4, and it's like now look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hey. And that 30 seconds, and start with 30 seconds and look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself what you did and that you can be proud of yourself. And then you're training you're self-conscious with that, with the positive stuff. I'm Rick Eady. I get up in the morning and I get my fucking workout done before my kids even wake up.
And I journal and I meditate or whatever it is to you.
When I started doing that in the mornings, like I stepped in more and more and more time, and I was, and I come down and have shitty workouts and I get mad at myself for having a shitty workout. But then eventually it's like, no, this is what I do. And then you regulate into it and say, no, this is what I do. And then you can pat yourself on the back because you're proud of it. And it's like, I told myself I was going to do something, and now I did it. That's why 75 Hard is so powerful, because you get your brain, you're training your brain to know that I do what I say I'm going to do, even when it's hard. Some days are easy, some days are hard, but you get yourself out there and you get it done. It's like, wow. And then you can pat yourself on the back. That builds your self-confidence. The self-confidence feeds your subconscious. Your subconscious is putting it out there and everything else that you think throughout the day. And then all of a sudden that ball starts rolling, starts snowballing, and you're better off.
100%. Well, you got me fired up over here. I'm just like, hey, yeah, coach, keep going. Take me in, me next. Yeah. I just like seeing people work on themselves and just become better versions of themselves. And that doesn't mean you have to be walking around with 21-inch python arms and a ripped six-pack. And 10 million in the bank.
Right?
No.
That doesn't mean that's not, unless that's what you want. But like to be healthy. Right, to be healthy and that are two different realms. And working on yourself. I was talking to a guy in the gym today, and he said that he, since October, has lost like almost 40 pounds.
Holy
and it was just getting into the gym, and he's like, and I noticed now.
He decided.
Yeah, 3 days. If I go like 3 days and I don't make it in here, he's like, I'm just off and I'm out of it. And I was like, yeah, man, like I get that.
He set this temperature gauge.
Because your body's like, now your body's starting like, all right, let's roll,
Fuck yeah,
right?
that's
like,
inspiring.
I was like, good for you, dude. Like I'm proud of you for that.
Right?
Well, I'm just learning. I was like, I'm just learning.
Right?
I was like, the guy that owns the gym, who I think is like a Mufasa of the fucking fitness realm, right? He's got so much knowledge in him. He's forgotten more than I've ever learned, right? Like, and then, but I was like, he's still learning.
So we don't know everything, man.
You should always be learning.
We should always be learning and growing and evolving, and I think that's cool. And like, if you don't have somebody that has your back, you know what? At the end of the day, you need to be your own freaking biggest cheerleader, #1 fan, because you can't rely on somebody else to push you. If you're not going to push yourself, you need to be your own.
You have to make the decision.
You have to make the decision. You have to show up for yourself. You need to be your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader, because there's not always going to be somebody there that can tell you what you need to hear every day. So you need to Yesterday on my walk, I'm like, I am fucking awesome. I was just like, yeah. Like, it was just like, sometimes you just got to, we should pat ourselves on the back a little bit more and be like, yeah, you know what? Rock on, girl.
Because it's less comparing to other people, and you should be proud of yourself
Yeah,
for
there
the
should be no
little steps
comparison.
that
Like,
you've
you know
been
what?
taking.
Just stick to your own lane. Yeah, there's people we look up to, but you know what? You need to pat yourself on the back for your achievements and things that you do, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, everybody's fighting their own battle that we
Fuck
call
yeah.
life, right? Like, and then you can have people on your team. It's like I watched when we were on the plane in Mexico. I watched 300, and then like the Spartans, right?
Spartan.
And they're all elite fucking dudes, and they're all going to war against these people that are all like. Well, tens of thousands
like,
or whatever,
yeah.
right? And then there's only 300 of them. I was like, cool, because them as a team, that's awesome. So having your team around you, that's awesome. You know that guy's doing that guy's doing that. It's positive energy. You know that they got your back and everything else. But every single one of those guys swinging their swords was all in their own personal battle on every single guy, right? They're fighting their own fight. Sure, they're part of this team that everybody's doing their thing, but them in that moment, it's you and you only.
Dang.
It's kind of...
I didn't get that out of the movie. Yeah. But well, that was very good. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to go watch 300.
Yeah. Suck it, Donnie. Cool. Yeah. I hope that was helpful for somebody. If it was helpful for one person, it was worthwhile. It was
Hell yeah. If you help one
us.
person today, well, actually, we'll talk about that on the next episode, our starfish story. If it helps one person, day is made. Peace out, guys.
Peace out, guys.